That's right.
Should we go next?
Well, we've got lots of different options. If you open the teleport directory, that's the easiest way to get around. So
That's the easiest way, especially if you got you're looking for a whole collection of things and want to look in the
it
collection.
it's
Yeah.
it's the menu and info button on the bottom left there. And
Yes, right.
if you
And
open up,
but I can't get to it until I press the escape key.
that's
Uh,
right. Gotta
the,
press
the,
the escape key to bring up your mouse.
you have to remember that the escape key is sort of the magic talisman for handling things, because you can with the escape key, um, you can actually get your cursor back, and you can now click on things that you can't click on when you're actually moving around in the virtual world. And I see that they're down at the bottom. There is one line that says menu and info, and that's the one I bet I should press, right?
That's correct. Absolutely.
And then it says teleport directory. Now, I'll bet that's going to be the one that I want to click on. And then there's a whole collection of items in the teleport directory, and A to Z train. Now, that's a train station, and that's another metaphor for traveling around in the virtual world. There's a conference center. Sometime we're going to have to look at the conference center, and I'm trying to get some writers to move. I know that EDRA has a writing group, but a small group. But I've been in a somewhat larger group, and she has too. And I'm trying to get them to think about coming into this web world
The
for their meetings.
the writers group meeting is actually every Wednesday at 6:30 Pacific time here in the web world. That's when they've started hosting those.
Yes, and well, of course, that's a bit late for me and perhaps for some other people. But um, what I would hope is we will have perhaps several writers group meeting, maybe in the conference center or in the library, and because of course the thing is about web worlds is the writers can come in and they don't have to learn anything about virtual worlds in order to do. We have had for a long time lots of writers group in virtual worlds, but most people who are writers or interested in being writers simply don't have the experience to come into a virtual world, um, and they don't know how to do much, and they're not sure they want to be in it. Uh, if you have a writers group in a web world, you don't have to know whether you want to come in. You don't have to know whether you want to be in the group. You can just drop by. No preparation needed. You don't even have to make you don't have to register or store or enter a password or anything. You can come in on the impulse. That's one of the items that I'm teachers that I'm uh, emphasizing here. Well, let's see now. We've got a whole list of things, and I can scroll down and look at them. And I see Service HQ for A to Z LLC. That's
That's
the one
where
we're
we
at right
are
now.
right now. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I don't want to click on that one. What of the other ones would we want to do? Click
Well,
on.
we've got if you'll notice there, we've got access to everything that's available. We were talking about the art gallery templates earlier. All of those are there. So if we want to go there, we can actually look. We can actually see what's available as far as the template goes. We have school. My School 3D is available also. We have the library available. We have lots of different options. And as you
Mm-hmm.
can see on the left, they're all labeled as far as what they are.
Yeah.
So you'll see the galleries are labeled as art. You will see all the school stuff is labeled as education. We've even got a couple of businesses in there.
Mm-hmm. And yes, right. Well, actually, then there's some private worlds. Actually, one of the things, the bottom of the at the bottom of the public worlds, there's my world, my Selby sandbox, um, and uh, there's nothing much to see there because I really haven't figured out how to do a lot of things. Uh, but um, my world was private, and I've now made it public because I'm not interested in being private. Uh, and there's a whole bunch of private worlds belonging to such people as Bill Blight and Jamie and
Right.
um, Luna, a whole bunch of Mr. Blue. I see people that most of those people I know. Saggio. I'm not sure. Um, that's one. Well, why don't we go to Saggio's because I know that is a photo art gallery um, that is actually represents one of the the end use kinds of the activities that that we anticipate. Because that well, let's go there. I'm going to go to Saggio's. You ready
All
to
right,
go?
let's go. Let's go. Absolutely.
Which is the Saint James Gallery.
We're there now. We made it.
Yes, we did. Um, I went. I tried to go to the other place and found like that was not a good idea. I see that now we have actually we're looking through the. I'm looking through the window and I see a boats, which is appropriate for Saint James. Saint James is an island, or I think it's an island or a peninsula or something on the east coast. Oh, and the thing that I think is noticeable is this art. Well, this is a gallery of the works of artisans, and there they are. I'm looking. I'm focusing right now on St. James Gallery, and there's a list of the people whose work is being displayed here, and those people are well, they're artists, artisans. Some of them are. Most of them, I think, are artists, but there are some that make things rather than paint things. And we tend sometimes, I don't want to change, I don't want to make that mean different, something different, because I think making something is also uh, an art. But often when we say art, we tend to think of paintings that you can hang on the wall or big statues or something. Here, if you have a big statue, we could actually bring it in here, and it doesn't weigh anything in here, so we can put it in any building we want to,
That's
and we
right.
don't need a crane.
We can make it as big as we want to make it.
Yes, and now so I'm looking at we there are sort of two wings available in this location, and um, I've already posted an article about this. These are paintings, as I say, done by these artists, and the advantage is I don't think um, I don't think they're not well known artists. I don't suppose. The advantage is that they can display their work here, the collective work of the entire group, so that people can come in and if they want to see paintings of boats. Well, I'm looking at a painting of a boat right now, and I'm also looking at a painting of a flower. Um,
And if you will hover under those paintings, if you will hover on the eye, you will get a pop up that tells you about those paintings.
Right, I just did that, and I see that we get a little pop up that is prepared by whoever is running the gallery, and in this case, was Segi, who's his known as Sagio. Um, but the advantage, and he also has a thing like that in um, uh, OpenSim. A build, and I've done an article about that. But the advantage of this location is um, people can reach it if they know how to use all they need to know is how to use a browser.
That's
Um,
right. Yeah.
uh, the um, in OpenSim, uh, they actually need to download a viewer and then get a little bit accustomed. It's not really difficult, and it's actually pretty much the same as using a moving around in a 3D world in a browser. A little different, but that's not all that different. But the thing is, the that takes some preparation. Again, uh, anybody can come in here, so therefore they can invite their uh, family, the children and grandchildren, anybody. And might actually make some of them. I bet you would make a painting of their grandchildren.
Well,
Uh,
and that's one thing we need to talk about. Not only do we use these galleries for artists, but you could have a gallery specifically built for family memories. You could put pictures, you could put stories about your family member, all kinds of different things that we could do with these gallery spaces.
Yes. So therefore, you could have a record of your family's valued moments, activities. You could, of course, you can put pictures, video, images that you take with a camera. And nowadays, of course, since everybody has a good camera in their cell phone, they probably take lots and lots of pictures. Uh, and you can have pictures of family gatherings, and
That's right.
you can you can have the family can gather, and from all, no matter where they are in the world, they can gather. Um, and if there's some like in somewhat similar time zones like the United States, you can come in from Seattle or Orlando, or from any other part of the United States, or actually from any lots of other places in the world. But if you're in the United States, you can generally arrange a convenient time. Um, and I'm moving along here to look at the other this other wing. Go into this other wing. You can gather people, and you can talk about this. And if you want to, um, you can have a family reunion over the memories.
Yes, and we actually have a space for if you wanted to do something simple like a birthday party, we actually have spaces for birthday parties as well.
Yes, I've noticed that, and that means, of course, you, nobody has nobody has to fly across the country to come into join you in a birthday party.
That's right.
Um,
That's
and
right.
this is one of the things I'm trying to point out to my um, people in my location. As you know, I like to call it an old folks home. It's not really. It's what senior for people who are let's say
Old.
old. Well, I didn't know that was an example. Oh, it's now it's not now it's become it's surely an acceptable term, and of course I can say it anyway because I'm old, or at least I my chronological age is old. I don't feel old, except when I try to exercise. Um, but at any rate, they would be able to have a location in a web world, and they could show them that they do art here in this place. In this, I live in a place called the Vantage, uh, and it's a bit of an upscale thing. So they have art. They have art classes and things of that. People do a lot of. And I'm not being well. I'm not an adequate art critic, and in fact, I'm hardly an art. I'm not an art critic at all. I don't criticize it. I like it. Uh, and the advantage is that they can post those things and they can get their family. They can contact their families and get their families to come in and look at their work, and actually meet the families there, in looking at their work.
It's a
Uh,
really great way to get together. Very, very, very easy. Like I said, we decided that we were going to meet at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and we actually showed up early and were able to start early because it was so easy.
yes, and actually, the only problem that we've had so far is that I didn't know the right place to go immediately. But then, of course, it's a lot easier in a web world if you don't know where you're supposed to go, as compared to in the real world where you have to get a taxi, and it takes you half an hour to get where you're going, or an hour depending on what city you live in.
That's right.
Now you live in Amarillo. No, yeah, Amarillo, right?
Amarillo, yes, sir. And you're in Fort Worth, so there's
I'm in DFW. I I always think, well, in the Fort Worth area, I think it's anything I'm going to is going to take half hour to 45 minutes to get there.
that's right.
If it's in the farther off in the metroplex, I figure it's going to take an hour and a half to get there. If I went to that location, it would take me 3 hours to go and come back, and without even staying there. It doesn't. It take me less than 30 seconds to get here.
That's right. Absolutely.
So, I see this as very attractive. Um, Running close, but let's see if we got any place else, and see if I can figure out this time a more sensible way to get there, a more sensible choice. I don't want to choose a private lane. Uh, well, let's see. You mentioned there was a birthday thing. Where's the birthday location?
It's gonna be right there in the teleport group. When you just bring it up, I'll tell you exactly. I believe it's called Birthday
I
Island.
do see that now, and it's under events. Uh, because of course the birthday is an event. And by the way, I see also the warehouse. Now that's where we have had some performance events. We had um, um, a singer at one point recently.
James
Uh,
almost, and he's gonna be back.
oh,
He's gonna be back next month, I think.
and he's going to perform here as well as there.
Yes,
I mean,
sir.
oh,
He's gonna be on video. It's already in Web World Events.
oh, that's good. Well, let's see. How about let's go to Birthday Island and then see what we've got there.
Okay,
I'm
I'll be right behind you.
okay. I'm going.